didn't want him to feel badly about it. Dan, what is Dan going?
We've said too much.
To the wedding.
You want to give the venue out?
No. 4 figures, really? I mean, you guys really put me in a spot there. You realize that,
if
right?
you show
Put
up, it's
yourself
less.
on the spot, man.
I did.
You show up, it's less.
I'll tell you, you're a boss now. I know if I show up, but I'm not showing up, so I have to make it more. Your name is no longer Mike to him. It's Michael. And with that, okay, with the AL comes added financial responsibility when you give gifts to these guys.
Look at you turning up the heat on me. I'm actually going.
Dan did this weird thing for my wedding because I was like you two guys. I was kind of like eyeing out everyone that was coming. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see that Dan gift.
Yeah.
He did it. I'm obviously appreciative of it. It's a weird thing. Because he at the very last second, he scooped up like everything else on my registry, which cumulatively is a solid number.
Very nice.
But I was trying to think because it's like when you look back on it, your registry, like, do you even use these things?
Right. No.
So I'm trying to think if in hindsight, if I would have preferred to just get a check for that amount as opposed to him just like giving me a bunch of pots and pans.
You would have
Yeah,
preferred the
knickknacks.
check. Yeah.
He gave you knickknacks. Oh, look, honey.
A
we're gonna
lot of
use...
them. Don't misinterpret this.
But you
Dan
wanted the
spent-
Levitard check.
He spent way too much, and I'm so appreciative. But he did it all on the registry.
You would have preferred someone else to take care of the registry stuff, and you get a check from Dan.
Yeah, instead of a whisk.
Because I'm telling you, Dan gave my kids enough money to not go to their bat mitzvah, where I am telling you, college is taken care of. For both of them. You want that check, Chris. You need that check. I got that check. And I'm not spending it on their college tuition.
We will talk to you mañana. This was the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
I apologize for my behavior in this Walmart grocery pickup commercial because I just got my groceries and I'm hungry. When you pick up groceries this fresh, you just got to eat. Am I right? And I didn't have time to shop in store, so I ordered online when it was convenient and then used free curbside pickup to get these baby carrots brought to me without even leaving my car. No extra charge and freshness guaranteed. Speaking of fresh. Oh, man. Try not to order when you're hungry. Walmart grocery pickup. $30 minimum. Restrictions apply. If you're not happy with your order, contact customer care for a refund.
Pros do it right by choosing trusted brands like Zinsser and Little Giant. Lowe's is here to help by stocking those brands at savings you can count on every day. For over 150 years, Zinsser has been the problem solver professionals trust to make the job easier. Pick up a gallon of Zinsser Bullseye 2 Primer Plus Sealer today for as low as $17.08. And we now offer the Little Giant King Combo Ladder, the world's first step, extension, and leaning ladder for only $159. For your next job and every job after, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. U.S. only.
This is the Morning Rush.
I find myself looking at my phone when I need to be in the moment for whatever it is I'm at, whether it's a concert. And I really find it when you're doing something with the kids, you know, you go to their school and you want to take pictures for them because they enjoy seeing that. But look at stuff that doesn't matter. Nothing on there is that important, but we all get caught up in it. I'm just as guilty.
Whether it is you're taking pictures or filming it or whatever, you're not going to remember and have that memory in your mind based on the video you recorded or the picture you took. It's going to be on what you actually took in without technology. It's going to be what your mind and what your eyes all took in.
Why do we need to take videos of games that are on TV? But he's right about the fact that we all live in a world where we got to take a picture. Hey, the three of us got to get together for a group selfie or whatever so that we can post it on everybody so we can let everybody else know that your life sucks because you're not with us.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
The new Harry Robinson Salisal Ford has a bigger selection with over 200 vehicles in stock, personal service from a staff that is ready to work with you, and an all-new service department that's friendly and will fix your car right the first time. This is our promise to you at the new Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal, Oklahoma.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford.
True Grit Running Company is where perseverance meets passion. Whether you're training for your next marathon or just comfortable shoes to keep up with your kids, we have the gear to help you reach your goals. With our slow motion gait analysis and our extensive product knowledge, we have the right pair of shoes for you. We also carry apparel, nutrition, hydration accessories, injury prevention gear, and recovery products. We offer classes, workshops, and group runs. Lace up, show up, and get your grit on. True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the Chicken Pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
Looking for a high-quality and affordable vehicle? Hertz Car Sales offers a wide selection of high-quality cars, SUVs, or trucks. Amazing customer services with affordable prices on every car. With inventory arriving daily, why not make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard or give them a call at 783-1722. You can also check them out on the web at buyfromhertz.com. Trade-ins are always welcome, so stop by to Hertz Car Sales today. You'll be glad you did.
Guys, nobody wants to paint, but to stay on the good side's better half, there's no choice. 5 Star Painting of Fort Smith is a professional company that does residential and commercial painting. They do it all: interior, exterior, refinishing cabinets, fences, and decks, even some light carpentry. From the time you call for your free estimate to the attention they give to you in detail, you will be satisfied. It's guaranteed, and 5 Star Painting of Fort Smith owner Sean Weidman has been in the area for years, so you know it's all about a great reputation. Make mama happy and everyone's happy. 5 Star Painting of Fort Smith, licensed, insured, and bonded for trust. Go to 5starpainting.com/Fort Smith and get that honeydew done.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Cloudy skies, occasional showers and thunderstorms with us today. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be in the middle to upper 80s. Later on tonight, clear and cooler as the showers and storms wind on down. An overnight low will drop down in the low to mid 60s. Sunny, low to mid 80s tomorrow. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by Hertz Car Sales, 2810 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith. You can call them today at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromhertz.com.
ESPN KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 40 days.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas! I love everything here! Give me that thing here! Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas? Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson.
You do a fantastic job on the radio. There's no one else in this league I'd rather listen to, so keep up the good work.
And Tye Richardson.
Your show is really, really good, guys.
2 more quarters, and after that, most of you will never play this game again.
See ya, D-Mac. Hold on, Matt Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown. How about that Heisman, Mark Jones? How do you like it? Wide open again.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Good to have you with us on a Monday as we start our week. This is the last full week of July, which makes it the last full week of the last month before you finally get to watch football. I think there are actually some exhibition games in the NFL coming up this next weekend. So the long national nightmare that everybody refers to is coming to an end shortly. And we continue with, it's less than 2 weeks now until the start of Arkansas football practice. It will be a couple of Fridays when Chad Morris and his coaching staff get the 2019 version of Arkansas onto the field. And it'll be a grass field by then. No, it won't be a grass field. They'll actually be trucking it in, I think, around that same time. They get about, 10, 14 days to practice on the new natural turf before the Portland State game.
August 17th is around approximately August 17th is when it's supposed to get here.
Phil Elson here, the other voice, Tye Richardson, back in studio. And, yes, that was an interesting and very in-depth piece about the grass being grown for Reynolds Razorback Stadium to be installed. About 10 years, actually, right exactly at 10 years since the last grass field was torn out. But one thing's for certain, whether it's grass or whether it is artificial turf, there is definitely low expectations for Arkansas amongst the SEC media. We saw that at the end of the week of SEC Media Days. We had a chance to talk about it, Tye, on Friday because the poll came out from SEC media members, And it seemed like almost to a voter, just about to a voter, voters in the SEC expecting Arkansas to finish right where they finished last year, which was where they finished the year before. Not talking about the number of wins, because one this year would be an improvement upon which the big donut hole from last year, but expecting it to be a third last place finish in a row in the SEC West. And remember, Ty, they had I don't have the vote totals in front of me, but Arkansas had the fewest point total based upon the voting than anybody else in the SEC. Vanderbilt finishing in last place in the East, but still had a few more points than Arkansas did. So
I think it was like a 15-point. I'm going to look it up real quick. I think it was like a 15-point gap.
I knew it. You know what the expectations are coming into this season. You know what happened last year. You know that although there's a good recruiting class now on campus for Chad Morris, that you're still another recruiting class or two away of the same caliber of really being where you'd want to be, which is potentially amongst the contenders in the most difficult division in college football. But you can't help but look, Ty, at where Arkansas is. And I felt like we had this conversation in October or November when you started to get a sense of what the 2018 season might be shaping up to be. That Arkansas football is in a position that they've never been in before. Admittedly, the research I did was all looking into when Arkansas joined the Southeastern Conference, which, of course, was 1992. And they had such great success in the Southwest Conference that I wouldn't anticipate that you see some of the finishes in the standings that Arkansas has had, not just over the last 2 years, but really over the last 6. Of course, comprising of Brett Bielema and now Chad Morris. 4 of the last 6 years, Arkansas has finished in dead last in the SEC West. They'd never done that before. In fact, they'd finished in last place 4 times in the first 21 years in the SEC. And each of those last place finishes, they were tied with somebody else. So you could at least say, oh, yeah, they're tied for last, but they're also tied for second to last. You couldn't say that over the last 2 years. And the fact of that second week against Ole Miss, as I think we agreed upon, it might be a sixth-place championship game. I don't think there'll be a tie for last place in the West Division this year either.
Phil, we don't take pleasure with talking about Arkansas' shortcomings these last couple of years in football, but when you look at what's happened compared to their time, the rest of the time in the SEC, it's a blatant and wide open gap. Like, it is incredible these last few years how bad they've been relative towards their time in the SEC the rest of the years. And you called me yesterday when I was in Dallas going to brunch, and you just kind of started throwing these stats at me that I didn't realize were that eye-opening. The fact that this team, and again, it's a combination of a bunch of different things that we've hashed over and over again, but it's so weird to be in this position where about 9 years ago you didn't feel that way. About 8 years ago you didn't feel that way. You felt like this team could compete for a national championship and did that both of those years in 2010 and 2011. But now it's a completely different mindset. It's a completely different look from the national media's perspective. I'm kind of excited to talk with Connor about that, if there's still an idea out there that Arkansas can get back to prominence. But right now, you're in the depths of hell in college football, and it doesn't look like there's any way to get out until you start winning some football games.
You're not one to go to extremes too often there, Ty. So for you to drop the depths of hell, I can tell. I mean, it affects you when you talk about it a little bit. It affects fans when they think about this of exactly where Arkansas is. And again, we haven't spoken like this about the other two sports that we discuss mostly here. Arkansas basketball, yes, you've kind of fallen off the radar as far as national powers, but you're not looked upon as the pits of hell, to borrow your terminology.
Is that a mischaracterization? Am I overblowing where Arkansas is right now? You go 4-8 2 years ago, 2-10 worst ever statistically. National media, SEC are just laughing at you. You're the laughing stock of college football right now.
I'm not gonna put you where like Kansas has been all these years.
Yeah.
You're not in. That's really how many circles of hell in Dante's Inferno? Were there 7 of them, 9 of them? I forget.
Don't ask me that.
Let's say Kansas would be like the actual center of hell. You're not there. You're not there, but you're near. You're in one of those. You're in one of those circles of hell right now. You got to find a way out of it. It's a rut. It's a rut that Arkansas is in right now that have been in since John L. Smith's first year. And you hopefully the problem with some of these things sometimes is that these cycles perpetuate themselves. Losing leads to more losing, so on and so forth. There's got to be a way out of it. Maybe Chad Morris is the right guy to get you out of it. I still feel like he can be. I don't think this is the year that you point to that, yes, we are finally out of that rut. You want to see something positive moving forward. You know what would be something positive moving forward? At least a 6th-place finish. At the very least, getting out of that last-place rut and getting out of that last circle of hell that you're referring to.
Yeah, you're trending towards more of the Vanderbilt thinking when it comes to college football rather than some of the blue bloods that you initially competed with almost a decade ago. It's crazy how much the tables have turned on this football program. You referenced the difference between the basketball situation and the football situation. There is not a single person out there that knows about Arkansas sports that would argue that what Eric Musselman is inheriting is worse off than what Chad Morris inherited. It's just not a valid argument because there's so many different examples where you could say the basketball team's better off here, they're better off here, they're better off there, more history, blah, blah, blah. That's just, it's an apples to oranges comparison because it's just, you can't argue it. And so when you go back to these statistics that you're gonna kind of roll through in a sec, your mind is just so shocked when you're reading off these things. And even you can even go back to Brett Bielema's tenure here at Arkansas. Whether you can look to the Texas win after in the Texas Bowl and you 7-6, you're like, all right, this team's about to take over. They're gonna get back to prominence. Or you could even look to the 8-5 year where they finished on a strong note against Kansas State. I know they lost to Toledo that year, and I think they also got smacked around by Texas Tech that year. But there were a lot of bright spots on that team and in that season. And then all of a sudden it goes 180. You're looking at a 7-6 or 7-6 year where you just absolutely look horrible in the Missouri game and the Belk Bowl, and then you go 4-8 and Bielema's out the door, and then Chad Morris inherits the mess. And it's crazy how the tables can turn so quickly in a matter of years. And that's exactly what's happened up there in Fayetteville, Arkansas with the football program.
Our line to get with us here, either via text or via voice, 877-377-6963. Again, 877-377-6963. That's for your voice or your texts. If you do text us, give us your name and your location so we can give you your proper due. So, I mean, here's where Arkansas has finished in last or tied for last, because it's been a tie until recently. 1994, Arkansas finished 2-6 in the SEC. That tied them with Ole Miss. And it was just 6 teams in the West Division then, so you were tied for 5th or 6th place. So you're not really dead last, but you are last in a sense. Arkansas finished tied with Ole Miss again, 2-6, 1996. Arkansas finished in a tie for last in 97 with Alabama. That was a 2-6 season. Arkansas did not finish in last place again until 2000, and that also was a tie. And not a bad year. You went to a bowl that year with 6 wins. You finished 3-5 in the SEC, and that tied with Alabama. And then, really, I mean, you're going to end up looking back at 2001 through 2009 as kind of like a salad days for Arkansas football compared to this last decade because, look, and it's not a giant salad. It's not the best-tasting salad. It's a mini salad with a little side of dressing, but it's certainly better than the empty bowl that you've seen for the last 6 years or so. So now the recent last-place finishes for Arkansas. And there is that 2013 0-8 year under Brett Bielema, 2-6 in 2014, another last place finish. Hogs got out of the cellar, of course, in 2015, 5 conference wins, and that's a 3rd place finish. 3-5 in 2016, finishing in 5th place, then back to last in 2017 and 2018. And by the way, those were not last place ties. So you haven't seen a run like this in the West Division since Mississippi State. The days of Jackie Sherrill and Sylvester Kroom. They finished in last in 4 straight years, 2001 through 2004. And I think at that point, Ty, you could have said that the Bulldogs were close enough to the center of the pit of hell. They finished last 7 of 9 years in the SEC West. 2010 was the last year Mississippi State finished in last place. That happened to be Dan Mullen's first year. They haven't been even close to the cellar since. Of course, it's all about the coach. Chad Morris hopefully is the guy to get them out of this circle of hell.
And what you can draw out of that is, I would think, Arkansas has more football history than Mississippi State. Arkansas is a more attractable place to live, Fayetteville, than Mississippi State and Starkville. I know they call it Stark Vegas, and I know they got their own little thing down there, but I think maybe that's just my University of Arkansas grad coming out of me, and I've actually never been to Starkville, so I don't know how truthful some of this stuff is. I'm saying
what you hear about it is true. There ain't much there. So I will say, it's like, how far does the history go? Because there's 2 forms of history here. There's the near history, in which the kids that you're recruiting certainly know how Arkansas has had it tough of late. Well, it didn't stop them from signing a great recruiting class. Now, I think that's based upon available playing time and playing in the SEC and knowing you're going to have a lot of scouts watching you. Or is the history, leading up to that, which was more successful for Arkansas? Does that matter with the kids coming out of high school now?
And that's a good question, but you think about the pits of hell that you're referring to that Mississippi State was able to escape, that get guys, specifically Dak Prescott, who was the kind of the main captain of the Voyage that got them out of the trenches. And there was players before that, but he was really the guy that put that program back in the spotlight when they were at one point the number 1 team in the country. I think Ole Miss was number 2, if I remember that correctly, during 1 week where they were 1 and 2, which was just so weird. So it goes to show that in this decade, you can still get out and get things back to where they need to be. And I'm not going to say it's easy, because it's not. And I would be foolish enough to come out on the airwaves and say Chad Morris has an easy fix, because that's just a blatant lie. But Dan Mullen is a pretty good example of a guy that was able to architect a program out of where they never thought they were going to get out of. Like, imagine if you were a Mississippi State alum or a student at the time, or just a diehard fan, and you're watching the 2000s years that you referenced with Sherrill and Kroom continuously losing over and over again. Mullen gets there, former OC at Florida, Tebow and those guys, and then slowly but surely resurrects the program. I remember reading Paul Feinbaum's book, My Conference is Better Than Your Conference, and him talking about he thought Mullen was going to be the guy that could get Mississippi State, and he showed that he did. I think he maxed out his potential there in Starkville, and I think he made the right move going to Florida, because there's a lot more of a ceiling in Florida than there is at Mississippi State. But it just, I know that they have different philosophies, different way they run their offense and stuff, but that's just from a coaching standpoint at a college in the SEC West, Chad Morris should draw some similarities and look to some of the stuff that Dan Mullen did. Maybe not from a scheme standpoint, but just how he turned things around. Because, again, Phil, it's not an easy thing to do.
Well, I guess so. You look at the things that you might hope for as a fan going into this season. Anybody wants a bowl game, obviously. You want at least the 6 wins so you can play in a bowl for the first time in 3 years. I would have a simple hope if I were a fan rooting openly for Arkansas, which I guess sometimes it sounds like we do in this show, to not finish in last place. Something as simple as that, to get out of that last place run. So that'll be a topic on our conversation throughout the show today. We will also be joined by Steve Sullivan from KATV in Little Rock, bottom of this hour, for a local perspective on the Razorbacks and a bunch of other things, because Sully is as well-rounded of a sportscaster as you'll find in the state. I think many of our listeners are aware of that. We have Connor O'Gara coming on from Saturday Down South, bottom of hour number 2. That's going to turn out to be a weekly segment with Connor. I think has been a lot of fun to talk to over the last few months. So we'll get a national perspective from him. Plus, our halftime poll question for the day: should Tye get a haircut with these lovely locks that he's got on my iPad right now? Is it necessary for Tye? It sounded to me, Tye, like, I don't know if criticism is the right terminology, but maybe it is criticism. Tommy Kraft's tweet of your TV appearance on the SEC Network, your question you got to ask Chad Morris last Wednesday when he asked about get a haircut. I think that got to you a little bit because it seems to me you wanted to get the haircut. Now you don't. He's in your dome. He's in your dome a little bit.
I'm going back and forth on this, and initially my thought process was after SEC Media Days, I'm going to get a haircut because I usually get a haircut about once every 6 or 7 months because I'm not going to have this hair forever. I work in a job where I'm fortunate enough that I don't have to have certain restrictions or guidelines when it comes to my hair. And then some buddies, some people on Twitter reached out and said, why are you getting a haircut? We love that. And so now I'm thinking I might not get one until after week 2 in Oxford. I'm still going back and forth. And Phil, I don't know if you know how there's certain things that kind of I abide by and certain like weird things that we do. Have I told you about the take it to the coin philosophy? Have I referenced that with you before?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I'm definitely interested in the definition of this.
Okay, so just think about this was applicable to us in college. If we're ever in a situation, it could be something to the extreme of like very low on the scale of, hey, where are we going to eat? Are we going to eat here or there? Take it to the coin, flip heads or tails, one associated with the other. Or it could be something a lot more like serious, like am I going to study for this test tonight? Take it to the coin, yes or no. And
that's funny. Didn't I hear? Isn't that the way Herschel Walker chose Georgia over other universities over that last week?
I don't remember if he said that.
He said he flipped a coin.
Is it? He probably. I think you're right on that. I'm not 100%, but that was. I thought about doing that, just flipping a coin, heads or tails. Tails, I get a haircut. Heads, I don't. And I was like, well, we do have a radio show, and I kind of want to ask our listeners what they think. And kind of get their feedback on that because it's been
you got
more.
That, listeners. He cares. He cares what you think about his personal appearance. Let him know. Let him know at Tye Sports Radio for your Twitter.
Yeah, so I figured that would be a more appropriate way since we do this and we often joke about my hair. So it should be one
or my
of those
lack
things.
thereof. That always goes along with it. If you want to talk about the differences between the two of us in age and perspective and maybe politics and other things,
generational
hair
gap,
and lack thereof are two things that we are totally different on.
And one of the things, and I don't ever bring up your hair. I think I've made one joke at your lack thereof.
No, you're not allowed
experience.
to. It's the bald guys that can make fun of themselves. That's how it works.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of a forbidden category that once you step in, you're not going to be able to get out with getting hit in the face or something. So I don't make fun of it. You often do, but I figured this would be a fun way to go about deciding if I need to get a haircut or not. But I will be getting one after Oxford. I'm just wondering if I should get one prior to or after that. So,
little hint. This goes for most of the bald guys, I think, and even heavyset people in some cases. If you got the sense of humor to work yourself around it, we secretly might not ever admit this, as I admit this on a 3-station radio network. We like having no hair. It leads to jokes. It leads to self-deprecation. It leads to you looking like a good guy. So. Let's take all that hair off at some point, and then you just got to sit in it and stew and just learn to live with it and work with it.
You're just another Jason Statham, buddy.
I guess so. Yeah, me and him. We'll go running together at some point.
Two peas in a pod.
We're workout buddies, me and Jason Statham. Some more advice though, if you own a business and you're looking for more curb appeal, make it look prettier, or maybe you need more security for that location, a new fence from the Fence Man can do both. The Fence Man specializes in custom installations. They've been doing it for over 40 years. Talking like gates, controlled access card readers. That's the Fence Man. Call them for a quick, no-obligations quote. Call Henry at the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. The Fence Man is a division of Quantum Property Services. Back after a break, some late-night commitments for Arkansas football over the weekend on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson. Follow them on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP and at Tye Sports Radio. This is the Morning Rush.
I don't want to see where you go on the road, you're getting blown out so bad that the commentators on the television broadcast talking about the little fat kid that's eating a hot dog in the stands instead of talking about the game. It's set up to where...
Okay, then.
I'm just saying. Like,
he got to be fat. Yeah, I mean, why are you body shaming?
Because that's what makes it funnier for people is when they see a fat kid doing it. That's my point.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9 only on ESPN 95.3.
This is Mark Hurst. How important is new technology? That's a question I was recently asked by a student at a career day presentation at a local school. At Hurst Family Dental Care, we use new technology like digital x-rays, an iTero scanner instead of those messy impressions, and an Invisalign outcome simulator which can show you within minutes how Invisalign can straighten your teeth. Give us a call at 474-1972 and let us show you how new technology makes a difference in the way we are able to care for you. Hurst Family Dental Care, a name you know and a name you can trust.
For almost 70 years, Crabtree RV in Alma has been helping people in the River Valley get out and enjoy the great outdoors. And that tradition continues today with our brand new body shop, a first-class service department, and a friendly staff to help you choose from the top brands in the industry. So put away the devices and get out this summer to enjoy all that the natural state has to offer. With a little help from Crabtree RV in Alma, where your family's dreams come true.
Are you looking for an easier way to own a new Ford? If you want a better selection with more financing options, try Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. If you want more for your trade, try Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. If you have not had great service from other dealers, try Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. If your dealer isn't meeting your expectations, try Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford.
Harry Robinson, Salisal Ford.
And online at harryrobinson.com.
What's your next obsession? If it's diving lessons, Ocean Impact Dive Shop, Western Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma's premier dive shop is waiting on you. Ocean Impact is a full-service 5-star PADI dive shop offering air fills and tank inspections. The staff can answer all your questions and get you started on your underwater adventure. Ocean Impact Dive Shop, 2127 South 56th Street, Fort Smith. Don't wait. Get to Ocean Impact Dive Shop. Go get your dive on.
Sit comfortably on your patio or the sidelines in a Four Seasons Courtyard Extra Large Zero Gravity Chair from Metters Lumber True Value for only $49.99. This extra large chair with a sturdy steel frame and sling fabric features double bungee cord stability and a ring lock mechanism for easy recline. It even has a detachable tray for drinks. Choose from red, gray, blue, or tan. Add a matching folding side table for only $14.99. It features a fabric top with cup holder. Pick up these bargains of the month today while supplies last at Metters Lumber True Value.
Built as user-friendly as it is budget-friendly, the Kubota Z100 zero-turn mower cuts a lawn worth admiring. With smooth controls and a rugged deck, this machine makes mowing way more comfortable. For a limited time, you can get a Z100 mower for as low as $83 a month. Now through June 30th, 2019. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
Gray Brothers Equipment on Wheeler Avenue is open for business. Stop by and see them today for the best deal on a Kubota tractor.
At Frankrow Furniture, we have always been involved in supporting and giving back to our community. During the recent historic flooding, many people and their families have been affected, and we continue to keep you in our prayers here at Frankrow Furniture. We want to help by offering no sales tax, free delivery, and sell at discounted prices. We can also store your purchase until you're ready for delivery and setup. May God bless you and God bless America. Frankrow Furniture, your Made in the USA headquarters. Best seats in the house.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Takes it on the hop at the 9. He's got a seam. Then planted as he got out to the 28-yard line. Dallas Washington picked him up and crushed him.
Tye, JT in Hot Springs texts us that if Arkansas wins in Oxford, then you can't cut your hair, either before the season starts or after the season. So, apparently, JT thinks that if Arkansas wins week 2 in Oxford, which is September 7th, that you've got to go an entire calendar year without a haircut. What do you think about that? You want to be Rip Van Winkle? Well, you can't be, because I know you can't grow the beard and mustache to grow it all the way out.
Yeah.
But you could be, I don't know, you could look like a Doobie Brother.
Well, you were texting me before the show. You're like, you can't cut your hair. It's like Samson in the Bible.
That's
if you cut
exactly
your hair,
right.
you lose all your strength. So I'm in a tough dilemma right now, Phil, because if the poll comes out, yes, I'm going to factor in the Facebook poll and the Twitter poll that are both on Hit That Line, and we'll see what happens with the results, because I'm going to, whatever the results are, even if I like it or don't, I'm going to go through with it. So this is one of the few times where the listeners have a direct outcome of my life. like 100%.
That's a dangerous way to live.
Dangerous game, but I'm willing to do it because I love our listeners, and that's just the type of person I am, Phil.
I don't know whether to just congratulate you or just think maybe you're pandering a little bit. That's all right. Again, at least you got the
combination of both.
I think so. So late night commitments. I guess I'd be a little nervous if I saw a commitment tweet that came at like 1:30 in the morning. There's supposed to be nothing good that happens between the hours of 1 and 5? Is that what I always heard? Is it a 4-hour period? Is it 1 and 6 where nothing good happens?
Yeah, didn't your dad always tell you nothing good happens after 1 a.m., Phil? I feel like my dad's told me that at least once before.
I know it wasn't my father that told me. It was probably somebody I was out with at like 3 in the morning that told me that. I don't know if I'd be able to hear them when they said it.
You didn't abide by it?
But at 11:27 in the evening on Saturday, there was some good news that came for Chad Morris as Drew Francis decided to make a commitment to the University of Arkansas. Francis is a 6'3", 200-pound linebacker out of Knoxville who chose Arkansas over 7 other offers and is the 28th ranked prospect in the state of Tennessee. And then a matter of hours later, I guess his friend went to sleep, took a night, and then put out the tweet at 7:10 the very next day that he would be an Arkansas Razorback as well. That's Tye Edwards, who is a 6'2", 240-pound defensive end who was one of Francis's best friends on their high school team. So the teammates made the decision. It was not a surprise from their head coach. And they are now going to be Arkansas Razorbacks. So that brings the commitment list up to 13. And with a couple more 3 stars, you've got 1 4-star recruit. That's offensive lineman Tykees Crawford, and 12 3-stars. And that's, of course, the stars could change over the next few months.
What's interesting about Francis is he is playing at a high school in Knoxville, and yet the Volunteers have not offered him. I don't know if they plan on it or not, but is that a red flag when you see something like that, when a kid's in an SEC college town and that school does not offer him? Maybe not a red flag, but you're like, are you really that excited to get the kid? You know what I mean?
I know, and I've thought this before. I know Edwards was recruited by Missouri, so at least he had an offer from another SEC team. I didn't see any SEC schools outside of Arkansas on Drew Francis's list. So that I've heard from other sports, other coaches. They'll say even when they've inherited teams and they're looking at the players that they're inheriting, and I've heard before. We've got players on this team right now that weren't recruited by anybody else in this league. What is that going to tell you? So that does make me question a little bit.
I wonder how the fans are reacting. I haven't got on the message boards as much lately, kind of concerning recruiting, but there was such high energy, such excitement for this past recruiting class, and this one's just not drawing the same amount because you're not getting the same type of kids thus far. And there's a long way to go. We'll see how Chad Morris and his staff finish out this recruiting class, but so far there's not. I mean, you got Blaine Toll out of Hazen. We had him on the program a couple weeks ago, and there's another guy or two that you're excited about, but for the most part, it's just 3 stars, and you're just like, well, where are the 4 stars? And I know you're not going to get a 5-star at Arkansas unless it's an in-state kid, but I just don't know how excited fans are about this recruiting class to this point. And I got to throw that in there because we'll see how they finish it out.
Well, and these kids have their last season to play too, so
correct.
There's the ability to get bigger and stronger and better and smarter as far as the game of football is concerned, or maybe not. That's why this is such a crapshoot with recruiting.
And the one good thing about that is Nikki has talked about how sometimes they really hit on kids early, like that Mason Mangum kid. I think she talked about how he potentially could get to a 4-star. And so by hitting on these kids early and projecting them, if they end up projecting and becoming potentially a lot better moving up in the rankings, that's going to help if you've received their commitment that early and you have that relationship already, because it's harder to flip a kid than it is to just recruit a kid who hasn't committed to a school yet.
Also, nice news for Scooter Harris, named to the preseason watch list for the Dick Butkus Award as the best linebacker in college football. He's the career active leader in the SEC in tackles 118 last year that led all SEC defenders. Of course, he didn't come off the field very much, and there was a lot of opportunity to tackle running backs that broke through the defensive line. And but I don't think there's any doubt Scooter Harris is an outstanding linebacker. I think he's got a bright future in the professional game, and we'll see if he continues to be on those lists. You know, what was it? The Doak Walker Award list came out last week. You had both Dev Whaley and Rakeem Boyd on that list. But again, I mean, these lists get whittled down to about 10 in November, and they're large lists in the preseason. I think there were, 60 running backs on the Doak Walker list. I didn't see the entire list for the Butkus Award, but I assume it's about the same amount.
Yeah, so now you have 5 Razorbacks who've been named to watch lists. You mentioned Boyd and Whaley. You also have Sosa Geem with the Benerick, and then Cheyenne O'Grady with the Mackey. So you got a couple guys we were just joking about before the season, or the offseason truly began, how Arkansas hasn't really gained much national attention from the media, but at least from right now, you got 5 guys on watch list. We'll see if they can still keep that respect up if the team's just kind of mediocre stuff, because that was one of the scenes last year with Scooter Harris. As good as he wasn't given the probably accomplishments that he deserved based on how bad the football team was last year.
Well, you only need a list of one dealership if you're looking for a new car, and that's Rhodes Chevrolet, name you've been trusting for over 80 years. Rhodes is dependable in the car buying and car owning experience. You walk into that showroom that first time, you'll be treated like family. Part of the family-owned dealership and service department serving the River Valley for over 8 decades. Find your next dependable vehicle now at Rhodes Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren, or go to RhodesChevy.com. Rhodes Chevrolet, dependable since 1934. KATV sportscaster Steve Sullivan joining us next on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com.
More Halftime in just a moment.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man, fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com, a division of Quantum Property Services. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Art's and get $1 off. Try Art's Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house-smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Art's burgers come with a mound of fresh-cut fries, or upgrade to Art's homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
Massey Ferguson tractors have arrived at Bush Machine and Tractor. Bush Machine and Tractor is proud to be the newest Massey Ferguson dealer in western Arkansas, providing you with a full lineup of versatile Massey Ferguson tractors. They're built with straightforward power, smart fuel economy, and upgraded control and comfort. Stop by and find a new Massey Ferguson perfectly sized to fit your property or farm at Bush Machine and Tractor, 7301 South 0 Street in Fort Smith, or visit us online at bushtractor.com.
Tired of all the broken promises and broken equipment at your current gym? The Fort Smith Athletic Club is the nicest and most well-equipped fitness and tennis club in the area, with a state-of-the-art fitness center, Pilates, fitness classes, personal and group training, and the best tennis facilities in the region. 7 outdoor courts, 5 indoor courts, plus pickleball and racquetball courts, and free child care is included. The Fort Smith Athletic Club. Call 452-4031 for membership information.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
This is your last chance to save $1,000 off the remaining new 2018 GMC Sierras at Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC in Charleston. Right now, you can save $16,000 off new in-stock 18 Sierra Denali 4-wheel drive half-ton crew cabs and $13,000 off new Sierra SLT half-ton crew cabs. These savings are unprecedented and will not be repeated. Hurry in now to Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC in Charleston and find your next truck at prices you can't believe. Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC in Charleston, or online at huggm.com. Closer than you think.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
And he's on in place of the injured Ryan Mallett, and he has been brilliant. 12 of 13. That one's caught. Touchdown. Whoa, what a rope.
Oh, my goodness.
Joe Adams.
There's not a backup in the country that can throw a ball like that.
Back here on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Heading to our phone line where Steve Sullivan, the outstanding sports director at KATV out of Little Rock, joins us right now. Sully, nice to have you on Halftime today. How you doing?
Hey, great. Looking forward to a little cooler weather here coming up.
That's right. That's something I'll get into later. I know we don't have like a 90-degree day in the next 2 weeks. I know a lot of our listeners in Fort Smith are like, what are you talking about? I got like 92, 93 coming up recently. Sully, this face app thing that you put on your Twitter just is cracking me up. I haven't done the face app yet. Tye, have you done that? Have you made one of those older looking photos of you, Tye?
I have not yet, man. I need to. When I saw Steve with Kyle and Basil, I was crying laughing. It's a good anyone like any of them I've seen so far. They've been pretty good.
It's hilarious because, they asked, Kyle and Sully both have the gray hair in the pictures, and Sully looks like it's great, like a combo of Lee Corso and Bob Barker. Basil looks the same. His hair hasn't gone gray. Sully, what's with that? Basil's hair will never change colors.
I know this Chris Thompson. I don't know who did it, but he did this face app and scared the heck out of me because I do not want to look like Bob Barker. Nothing against Bob Barker. Yeah, but Baz, he must have some connection with Thompson where his hair stays black, or they know Baz's DNA. The face app is, he doesn't change throughout the years. And he insists he doesn't color his hair. But it's Baz is just a rare dude. But that picture is scary. The face app.
That's why I'm not
away with it.
I don't think I'm going to do it. I don't think I want to know what I'm going to look like at that age. I would like to know I get to that age first, and then maybe think about what I might look like. So, Sully, we were talking about this, the media poll that came out on Friday, and it's really no surprise that the SEC media looks like thinks Arkansas will finish in last place again in the West. They have the fewest point total of all 14 schools in the SEC based upon the voting. So, I saw you referred to that as bulletin board material for the players, but isn't that also just an understanding of right now exactly where Arkansas is? Because you can point to that as bulletin board material, but there's a lot of truth and reasons why the media picked Arkansas in last place.
Yeah, you can't look at anything last year and say there was any progress with the program, and then you look who they brought to media day, and you don't get any wow from them. But I'll be both disappointed and shocked if they finish in last again. I just think, last year I kind of took it for granted that Chad Morris was such a great offensive mind that you could give him any offense and there'd be progress. And that wasn't the case, and I think if he had a do-over, he would have gotten a quarterback last year. And I think they're so much better. He's been knocked down, and I think once you, as a staff, and a guy like Chad Morris, once you get embarrassed like that, and I don't think he even anticipated, I think he anticipated it'd be rough and you may get physically dominated by LSU and Alabama, but I don't think he ever thought, we're going to go to, we're going to play Mississippi State and Missouri and we're not going to score a touchdown. It was, in the play that sticks with me offensively from last year, and we'll laugh about it maybe 3 or 4 years from now, is, Jordan Jones going full speed and, crashing into Rakeem Boyd. And I just think you're going to see a different Razorback team. I think they're much better offensively. They're more talented at wide receiver, and, the offensive line has to be better. And I think quarterback will be different. Running back with Hammonds coming back should be a little better. So I just think they're going to, they had some close calls last year. I think it's going to be a much better team this year.
And I think you raise a really good point. You knew that watching it last year. Scheme is one thing. Personnel's got to fit the scheme. You saw that with Brett Bielema's first year. The personnel didn't fit the scheme. It was the same thing last year too. And offensively, I agree. I think that it's not that there's room for improvement. There's talent that should lead to that improvement at key positions. I wonder defensively, though, if there's going to be any improvement upon last year, because as bad as Arkansas was offensively at times, they were even worse defensively. And I kind of want, you got some good recruits at some spots, but it takes a little time for those guys to fit into place.
Yeah, a great example is linebacker. I talked to Scooter Harris, and I'm not going to mention his name, but I talked to a linebacker that played 4 years in the SEC, and he started as a freshman. And I remember he telling me when I asked him what it was like as a freshman, he said starting in the SEC as a freshman at linebacker was like standing in the middle of an interstate and having cars pass by you, and you're just hitting what you see. And we put Bumper Pool in that position. And I just think linebacker, we were so thin, and you got to hope, and, we've got some great recruits coming in, but we got to hope more than recruiting, that developing, that a year older, and I've learned this, and you've seen it with baseball, and and with Razorback baseball, it happens more often than not. But a year older has to make these guys a year better. I mean, you have to have a Geen be, a primetime player. I mean, Bumper Pool, Hayden Henry, Grant Morgan. They need to be serviceable linebackers, and in that secondary, Curl has to be a leader, and I think we saw it with. I don't think Pulley was the player a year ago that we thought he would be going into the year. And I just think that, that developing is almost more important than recruiting this year. I mean, those guys that played last year on fringe playing that are going to be primetime players this year, have to take it to a new level. Or this defense, I'm with you. It could be the same thing all over again.
Talking with Steve Sullivan, KATV sports director down there in Little Rock here on Halftime. Steve, you mentioned that you don't think Arkansas is going to finish last in the SEC West. Where did you rank them when you were down there at SEC Media Days?
Well, I rank them ahead of Ole Miss anyway. I don't see anything, and I hate to put all this importance on one game, but momentum is so important. And you look at their schedule, and how much different are we going to feel? Are they going to feel? And just the entire program, the perception of the program. If you beat Ole Miss and you're 4-0 going to play Texas A&M, and the truth with Texas A&M is that's that one game, as bad as we are and as good as they've been, that game is always close. And, and you could realistically see, you're 4-0 and you maybe think you're better than you really are, and you play to a level maybe that, you're not used to playing at. And I think this year, and one thing I didn't see last year, I didn't see Chad Morris coach Arkansas like they were an underdog. That did we take enough chances? It was North Texas that ran that, funky fake punting return against us. I'd like to see us, get on the edge this year and take chances. But I think that game 2 at Ole Miss, and they've got, they're playing a redshirt freshman quarterback. And they have 2 new coordinators. And that's actually their big, drawing point, is the fact that they have 2 new coordinators. And I just like the schedule. I like that Kentucky is not the Kentucky they were a year ago. I don't think Mississippi State can be as good as they were a year ago. And then, I think Auburn, Texas A&M, I have no clue. I mean, they may be really good, or one of them may come back a little.
So, Steve, I meant to ask this to Chad Morris down there at SEC Media Days about if he thought he made any mistakes last year in his first year of coaching the SEC. After just watching the teams last year, just kind of hearing stuff from different sources, just gathering all the information you could, do you think Chad Morris made any mistakes last year, his first year in Fayetteville?
Yeah, it's hard for me to say if he made any mistakes. I think if he, I doubt he'd ever admit it, but I think Dave Van Horn said something that I thought that hit home with me, that he tries to tell coaches, and I don't know if he told Chad Morris, that you really don't know how good the SEC is, and it applies to baseball and football especially, maybe women's basketball too, until you play an entire year in the SEC. And I think they came in, maybe with an opinion, the SEC is good, but, we're at Clemson, we know what good is. And I think it was, he time and time again, he says, this is a line of scrimmage league. And my fear with this team and the recruiting right now is maybe they haven't recruited the caliber on the offensive line that they have on the defensive line to sustain long-term success in the SEC. But we'll wait and see, And I think, you'll coach differently this year. I mean, if your offensive line, isn't where it needs to be, with more quick stuff. And I just hope, that we are talented enough on the outside with Knox, and I hope Treylon Burks is what I think he can be. And these guys coming in, that we can win some one-on-one battles, like that play in the spring game where Knox just made the play and beat 3 or 4 guys. That wasn't scheme. That was a guy who was better than the other guys, and we didn't have those guys last year.
Steve Sullivan from KTV joining us here, and Sully, I know there was the funeral service for Mitch Petrus in Carlisle. I think it was in the high school gym on Sunday. And what I took away from it, I didn't hear the speeches or anything. I knew Mitch a little bit from radio and from seeing him at high school football, and had a little relationship with him. It seemed that even Mitch's family was just surprised at the outpouring and how many people Mitch touched through his life. And it just, to me, you would think that family members understand that. But when you see the magnitude of what a personality meant to an entire state, it seemed like it hit home with them a little more than expected.
Yeah, I think it's been the last few years, and I really, compliment the folks at Fox. And I watched him from afar, and he was hard to miss because it was the point he had such a big presence about him, and he wasn't, Darren McFadden or, someone, a quarterback like a Matt Jones or Sterner that you knew by looking at him from his Razorback days. So he would, in his first initial year at Fox, he would almost scare the coaches when he would interview him after the games. But he became such a big personality, and social media, and on radio too, he was just, he's like a tornado. He was like nothing else you'd heard. And I've learned in media, if you're different, a lot of times that's good. And you'll get some people that, don't like you, but, that people I think gravitate to different. And two, you go back to, and then you go back to the relationships, every relationship he had with a coach or a player, they just, had glowing things to say about his personality. And, it's a tribute to him and his story and, the type of guy he was that, he wasn't just the happy, gregarious guy that was over the top on the air. He was like that all the time, and it's just it's so sad. But you're right, and and the good thing about it is it's shining a light on his story. A small town guy from Carlisle who walks on at the University of Arkansas, has success there, then goes to the NFL and wins a Super Bowl ring. That's really incredible.
I think part of it, Sully, is he came across genuinely on television and on radio. He was exactly the same if you met him in person. And it's not every media member, and I don't mean this, negative. I'm not lashing out at media members. Not everybody's like that. When the camera's on, the personality goes on. You're the same way. You're genuine, and I think that comes across very much too in the way that you present things and just your overall personality. So, not to draw that line necessarily, but I guess I just did.
Yeah, and Mitch was, the more he was himself, the better he was on TV and on radio. Mm-hmm. And it was just so sad because he was just getting comfortable and getting really hit his stride on TV and radio. And I compliment the folks on Fox for actually seeing his potential. Yeah. And it's so difficult to be a Razorback analyst and, really hit your stride when the Hogs are terrible, because I've learned, and Phil can relate with this, when the team is bad, people hate on everybody. I mean, they hate on the play-by-play guy. I remember years ago, Paul Eels was on the back end of his career, and boy, it was a rough time with Stanley Ford era, and Paul was taking just all kinds of grief from folks saying, you're not as good as you used to be, and you're doing this. And the thing with Paul, even when maybe his talent may have slipped a little, no one got you into the end zone better than Paul Eels. Those are the calls you remember. But fast forward to the Houston Nutt era, and they start winning, and they're making T-shirts for Paul, doing the Paul call, and people are celebrating, and it's And that's the thing that I feel bad for Mitch, how much fun he would have had in his Razorback commentator role. If the Hogs are going to bowls each year and we're winning games, we're having fun.
Yeah, well said. Sully, good stuff. Really appreciate you coming on. We'll do it again.
Yeah, great luck to you guys. And, hey, congratulations to you, Phil, on all the great work you've done on Razorback baseball and women's basketball, especially baseball. And that I think the baseball has transcended its sport, and it's become something we can count on for good news when it comes to Razorbacks. And it's been so much fun the last couple of years. And you guys, your calls, you and Bubba have just done an incredible job. But great to visit with you guys.
You got it. I appreciate that very much. All right, you got it. All right, we'll wrap up the first hour of Halftime next on ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com.
Hold on tight. Missed a segment or interview? Check out the Halftime Pod at HitThatLine.com.
Summertime is fun time, and we're all about it at Rath Auto Resources. Hi, folks. Larry Rath here with exciting news about our summer sales drive. We're out to break every sales record this summer, and we're doing it with extra for trades, fast, easy financing for every situation, and huge discounts on our entire Rath road-ready inventory. Like these special purchase 2018 Toyota Corolla LEs for only $14,848 or $0 down and $229 a month while they last. Plus, we'll be giving away a showroom full of summer fun prizes, including a grand prize trip to Big Cedar Lodge. Or let us take care of the car you have with buy 3, get 1 free on all tires, free AC checks, and 10% off all AC work in our Meineke Car Care Center. Don't wait. Give us a call, go online, or visit us today to save some real money on a nicer, newer car and register to win fun prizes during the summer sales drive at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
No purchase necessary. 0 down payment with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Proclaim Construction has been in the industry for a combined 50 years, and they can meet any needs you may have for your home or business. Proclaim is your insurance restoration specialist, and they're offering a no-cost, limited-time free roof inspection, and they'll make your insurance claim if necessary. Whether it's basic repair, remodel, or complete makeover, Proclaim Construction guarantees your satisfaction with the best warranty in the business. Proclaim has references for your peace of mind, and they're licensed, bonded, and insured for your protection. Call 479-407-9598.
Hardee's used to think bowls were useless dishware. Then we created the new Loaded Hash Round Bowl. Crispy potatoes, fluffy eggs, sausage gravy, melted cheddar, and crumbled bacon. Now part of our 2 for $4 mix and match deal. No longer are bowls just college football games you can nap to. Now they're loaded with Hardee's delicious breakfast favorites and in our 2 for $4 mix and match. Try a bowl today. They're actually really useful. Hardee's because it tastes better.
Available for a limited time during regular breakfast hours at participating restaurants. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
Protection with possibilities. Have past losses made you cautious about taking on risk with your investments? Are you concerned that your savings are not generating the returns you need? If you are interested in protecting your money and capturing potential investment growth, contact Brad Lewis at United Financial Advisors at 242-7466 or ufadvisors.net to see whether market-linked CDs may be the right solution for you.
Securities and advisory service offered through Royal Alliance Associates, member FINRA, SIPC. United Financial Advisors is a marketing destination.
Only 10% of collision repair shops achieve ICAR Gold Class status, the highest training level recognized in the industry. Evans Body Shop is proud to be one of them. We know the latest repair techniques, how to find hidden damage, and repair your car's critical safety features so they work properly again. We invest in training because we would never cut corners with your family's safety at stake, and neither should you. Get your vehicle repaired at Evans Body Shop, where your safety is our top priority. Evans Body Shop, 412 Gordon Avenue, Van Buren.
Where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Why go anywhere else to buy your next vehicle? Buy local. Buy from Randall Ford, the 4th oldest Ford dealer in America. Right now at Randall Ford, employee pricing is back. You pay what we pay. At Randall Ford, you'll find the largest selection of new and used vehicles anywhere around. Plus, at Randall Ford, you always get top dollar for your trade. Why go anywhere else? Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers, or online at randallford.com. Home of the lowest price guarantee.
3, 2, 1.
Introducing the limited edition Budweiser Discovery Reserve, brewed to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the moon landing. An American red lager with a light hoppy aroma, followed by a hint of toffee and a crisp finish. Inspired by our archival recipe from the time of the Apollo missions. Enjoy responsibly. 2019 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Discovery.
We want
to get you everywhere you're going this summer with the Keep On Summering sales event. Hi, this is David Neal with Rogue Chevrolet in Van Buren. Keep on summering with the all-new 2019 Blazer and save up to $5,000. Or how about a new 2019 Silverado starting as low as $28,988? You can also put a little spark in your life with a new 2019 Spark with payments as low as $199 a month with no money down. Take advantage before this amazing sale ends. Road Chevrolet, exit 2A off of I-540 in Van Buren. Find new roads.
See dealer for details. This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands like Michelin and B.F. Goodrich. Take advantage of our $29.95 oil change, which includes a 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality Michelin and B.F. Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, B.F. Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
It's your piece of land, your point of pride, your place of peace and quiet. Your yard means something to you. So mow like you mean business with a professional-grade Gravely zero-turn mower. Gravely means comfort. Gravely means strength. Gravely means cutting precision. Gravely mowers mean business. Gravely, build to mow the distance.
Visit Bush Machine and Tractor, 73010 Street in Fort Smith, or at bushtractor.com.
Get hot summer savings now during the summer clearance event at Williams Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Stigler, Oklahoma. Incredible offers on an impressive selection of new 2018 still in stock and the stylish new 2019s. Huge savings through the end of July on trucks, SUVs, cars, and minivans. Don't miss the summer clearance event going on now at Williams Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. To view the inventory, look them up at buywilliams.com.
Enjoy happy hour 6 days a week at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Monday through Friday from 3 till 6 and all day on Saturday. Enjoy happy hour specials, including $1 off all drinks, and Paquito nachos are only $4. Your choice of beef, bean, chicken, or cheese. Happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 and all day on Saturday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 6 days a week. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Weather overnight, a few showers north, fair to the south, 70 to 75 on our overnight low. Showers and thunderstorms will be possible tomorrow, cloudy with our highs in the low to mid-80s. Monday night, some showers and mid-60s. Tuesday, sunny and low 80s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by Hertz Car Sales, 2810 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith. You can call them today at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromhertz.com.
Is on. Arkansas football begins in 40 days.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas! I love everything here! Give me that thing here! Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson.
You do a fantastic job on the radio. There's no one else in this league I'd rather listen to, so keep up the good work.
And Tye Richardson.
Your show was really, really good, guys.
2 more quarters, and after that, most of you will never play this game again.
See ya, D-Mac. Hold on, Matt Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown. How about that Heisman, Mark Jones? How do you like it? Wide open again.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Rolling along into the second hour on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson here. Tye Richardson, my friend in studio. And we got plenty coming up in this hour, including a talk with Saturday Down South's Connor O'Gara, bottom of this hour, for a national perspective on college football. We have a very interesting, I think, conversation in our next segment, dissecting some of the comments from Northwestern head coach Pat Fitzgerald about, really, I think about the ills of today's society is what he was talking about, even though there wasn't the question asked of him. We have 3 up, 3 down in a moment, but first up, let's call it, I guess, 4 up, 3 down, because first up is Eddie from Clarksville on the line right now. Eddie, good morning or good afternoon to you. First day of the week. How are you?
How are you, sir?
Doing great.
And like I called in this morning, I'd like to call in again and give tribute to Mr. Mitch Petrus and his family. let me tell you something. I know a little bit about something about loss. Let me tell you something. It hurts. As a fan base, we need to uplift his family. As a fan base, uplifted me during the most disappointing. I can't think of a parent that has to go through a loss of a daughter or a son. It hurts very badly, but through the fan base, it uplifted me. And I want to give a message to the Petrus family that what a son you had. And I know he's up in heaven now because, man, he laid it all on the line when he was a player on the field, a home state kid from Carlisle. It went on and answered one of his biggest dreams and won a Super Bowl. I mean, what about that? And the dreams do come true. But I also want to address this fan base. As I said, I had associates come up to me last week when we were to D.C., 800 of them. And I said, hey, what's the season going to be like? And you know what? I gave the answer. I smiled. I said, get ready. Because Coach Sports has laid a different foundation. No longer is the Good Shepherd has going to bring us, got us out of the darkness. No longer are we going to be your whooping boy in the SEC. No longer are we going to be mediocrity. So get ready. In the big sport name for a fan base, you need to prepare, just like his coaching staff has worked very hard in recruiting. Prepare in the off season, spring football in the summer, and summer football, preparing for the season. We need to prepare as a fan base for the winning to begin. There was a song Tony and Jim Cash had wrote, a big country hit, Rain the Fire, where a program has been through the fire. But there's only two points on the scale that matters. The top and the bottom. Well, we've been at the bottom, and now we're going to work our way to the top. So, I'm asking you today, sir, do you like lemonade? I'm so excited about the season, I said this morning. I went and bought some new Pirellis for my Georgia. Because all roads lead to Oxford, September 7th. And that's going to be the benchmark game in a program. But not only are we coming out of the right, not only it's going to show the national media where this program's headed. And I'm asking you, I got the sweetest tasting lemonade in the country. And I went and bought some fresh lemons as well. And I want to serve the fan base, bring your glasses, come with me to Oxford, Mississippi, because we need to go support this team. We need to get behind this coaching staff. Are you ready for the sweetest Texas lemonade in your country? What did he do? He went and got some quarterbacks that actually execute a play that the coach wants to run. What difference is that going to make? Put that in your lemonade. Now how's that lemonade tasting? He went out and got, 4 dapper-dandy receivers that can stretch the field. Now what's that lemonade tasting like? And for the beer drinkers, I'll bring the beer too. What's that beer tasting like now? He added depth to our offensive line and some linemen coming in that actually can come in and sustain a block. Now what's that lemonade and beer tasting like? So get ready. Our defensive line, oh, by the way, might be one of the best in the country. We're actually going to play some defense this year. I'm getting ready. Are you ready, sir? So I'm bringing the lemons and the whistle to Oxford, Mississippi. I'll see you in Oxford. Thank you for taking my call.
I believe lemonade and beer together is called a shandy. Isn't that right? The grapefruit and the beer together is a Radler. The lemonade and the beer together is a shandy.
Yeah, lying giggles.
I would like to have a couple of shandies with Eddie at some point. He makes. If there's anybody that knows that can relate to losing a child and tragedy of late, definitely it's Eddie. So we appreciate his phone call. All right, that'll lead us right into 3 up, 3 down. Strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, good night.
What does 3 up and 3 down mean to you, Airman?
End of an inning. Strike 3.
First down for Tye. He's angry at the equipment. He is angry at the equipment. How many times do you have to push that button before it started?
Couple.
Did the equipment see the signal you gave it there? You don't want to anger that stuff any more than it already is.
What signal? That was all love. All love in this radio station.
My first up. I love baseball for so many reasons, and it's a game like this. I mean, Mike Leake. Mike Leake is a pitcher for the Seattle Mariners, and he's had a lengthy career, 10 seasons in Major League Baseball. He's actually interesting because he was drafted out of Arizona State and never pitched in the minor leagues. He went right to the big leagues, had a few appearances in the Arizona Fall League. But to me, that's a prospect league after the season's over. That's not a minor league. The guy's never pitched minor league baseball, save for a couple of games when he was rehabbing an injury his second year. So, I mean, he's a journeyman. He's been around. He's been from the Reds to the Giants to the Cardinals and now with the Mariners for 3 years. He's not a bad pitcher, but he's pretty much a mediocre to good and occasionally a pretty bad pitcher over the course of his career. And really, the last 2 starts for Mike Leake would give you a sense of the really bad followed by the incredibly good. So 2 starts ago, July 12th, against the Angels. Mike Leake does not make it out of the first inning. 2/3 of an inning, gives up 7 runs, lost the game 8-7. All right, the next time out, actually 13-0 final score. The next time out, it's against the same team. And this was this last Friday night. The Mariners hosted the Angels once again. Same Angels that scored 7 runs against them in less than an inning. And Leake goes out and throws the 4th Maddox of the baseball season. Actually took a perfect game into the 9th inning before rookie infielder Luis Renigfo gets a single. And that's the only base runner Leake allowed. He walked one more batter in that 9th inning, but finished off the 10-0 shutout in 98 pitches. That is a Maddox, which, of course, is a complete game shutout victory thrown by one pitcher in less than 100 pitches, something that Greg Maddux did 13 times in his amazing career. And Mike Leake throws the 4th Maddox of the season, and it was 5 days after he was lifted in the first inning without retiring a batter, so I would give that a big up. My first down, the United States Collegiate National Team finished their tour through Japan with a 3-2 loss to the host Japanese team in the best-of-5 series. The United States loses 3-2, and that's 16 straight trips that the United States college team has taken to Japan and lost the series. Now, they've beaten them each time they've been in the States for a long time now, but just can't seem to win a series in Japan. So that's my first down.
First up for me, Brett Favre on how he first found out about the nickel defense.
I was afraid to ask. I'm the starter, Tye Richardson was over there, and so after about our second year, I said, I just got to know. So I said, Tye, I got to ask you a question. And Tye was about as goofy as I was. He says, what's that? And I said, what's nickel defense? He gets real quiet. He says, are you serious? I said, yeah, I'm serious. He says, well, basically take out a linebacker and bring in a DB. I said, that's it? He said, that's it. I said, who gives a
Oh, man, this guy was the reason I became a Green Bay Packers fan, and still am to a certain extent, but it's hard with fantasy football and stuff, and he's not there as more, so I don't love the team as much, but just stuff like that, it's so great, and I heard that, and I saw that on Twitter. It was just absolutely fantastic. First down for me, though, going to keep it going with the videos. Phil, did you happen to see the guy on Twitter who made the Heartbreak Hogs video with like all the bad moments since like the 90s? He included, and I'm not going to play the video because I'm not going to.
This all football moments or these other sports too?
Combination. I'm not going to make our listeners' ears bleed and have them swerve off the road by having to listen.
You were talking about the pit of hell earlier in hour number 1. You're going to make everybody live through that.
I mean, this includes Sterner's fumble, Fish's fumble, Mallett's second pick against Bama. You got the pick against Ohio State. Anthony Jennings is a true freshman coming in, beating Arkansas in Baton Rouge in 2013. The pop-up, I mean, just to make a video of that. And that dude's an Arkansas fan, too. Like, it'd be one thing if this was an LSU guy.
That's usually how you treat Missouri.
Yeah, it'd be one thing if it was an LSU guy or a Missouri guy or someone that had something against Arkansas. But for a person to call himself a Razorbacks fan and then to make a heartbreak video, I just that doesn't compute with me. I don't get that. So that's my first down from the weekend.
Second up, the Korean Baseball Major League. They're called the KBO, the Korean Baseball Organization. They had their All-Star game over the weekend, and they have a lot of fun, Ty, to put it mildly, with the All-Star game and everything surrounding it. I mean, for one thing, they do a bunting contest. We do a home run hitting contest in the United States. They do a bunting accuracy contest in the Korean All-Star game, which I guess really should be a down, because watching people bunt to a target seems like it would be a little bit boring. But during the game, players wore costumes, legit costumes, either on top of their uniform or instead of their uniform, such as Wyverns third baseman Choi Young, who dressed as a factory worker. And I'm looking at a picture of him right here wearing a hard hat instead of a batting helmet. And the name on the back of his jersey, instead of saying his last name, in Korean, it's spelled home run factory owner. So, all right, American Jamie Romack. I remember watching Jamie Romack play for the Northwest Arkansas Naturals. He was a Royals minor leaguer. He's playing for the Korean, he's playing for the same team that Jung is playing for. He went to the plate legit dressed as General MacArthur. I'm looking at a picture, and he's got the pipe, he's got the hat, he's got the military uniform. This is Douglas MacArthur taking an at-bat in the Korean Baseball All-Star Game. I'm looking at former traveler Drew Rucinski, a pitcher out of the United States. His last name is on his hat in Korean. Here is, and this has got to be something totally new. I've never heard of this before, but apparently there is a cheermaster robe that some fans will wear to games. Well, an infielder wore the team's cheermaster robe and performed his cheers dance song during his at-bat. This doesn't sound like we get people criticizing players for wearing their hat backward during a home run hitting contest. What if you're going up to the plate dressed like General Douglas MacArthur? Are you going to criticize that? I think this is beautiful. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think the different costumes and stuff to make it as entertaining as possible, because those types of events are not for actual typical sports competition. You want to fun it up as best you can. And
here's one. A closer for the LG Twins named Ko-wook Suk wears a legitimate fireman's outfit coming out of the bullpen to go finish the game off in the 9th inning. They call closers fireman. He's dressed as a fireman on the pitcher's mound, for crying out loud.
The MLB should take notes on this. 100%.
That's right. Let's have some fun. The kids need to have some fun. Second down, Darren McFadden. Oh, well, it looks like he's going to be charged from the incident on January 21st at the Dallas area Whataburger, where he wasn't just found drunk, he also was a little bit belligerent and was going to be charged with resisting arrest and DUI with a blood alcohol content of greater than or equal to 0.5. It's a Class A misdemeanor, could be a maximum penalty of 1 year in jail and a $4,000 fine. I don't anticipate all of that happening to DMAC, but it does appear that he's going to have to defend himself. Got the court date in October, so that would be a down.
Second up for me is the karaoke that went on with the women's clinic this weekend at the Razorbacks. You had Trey Knox singing "Friends in Low Places." You had Jalen Catalon singing "Turn the Lights Down Low," and then John David White singing "Party in the USA." So put my hands up to play my song to go my away. So I texted him this morning. I've talked about my relationship with John David. We used to go to football games together when we were kids. My dad and his dad have known each other for quite some time, and him and his mom just got up there and started doing that. And it was one of those things where all the players had a good time with it. The moms and the women that were there thought it was great. So I thought it was a cool moment for Chad Morris and his staff to put that whole thing together. I don't know whose idea it was, but I thought it came across pretty well, and I think players kind of thoroughly enjoyed it from what I saw.
Looked like a highly attended event.
Yeah.
Or a lot there.
Yeah. Second down for me, Phil. They were just in the Arkansas locker room. Unfortunately, now LSU now has the best locker room in the SEC, maybe even the country. Have you seen the pods that they have? They look like space pods.
They look to me like you're flying first class on Thai Airlines.
Yeah.
You know, with these. You got the place for the iPad, you got the charging section, you got the seat. They're not chairs, they're not seats. they're thrones that these kids are going to be able to sit on, and they convert into beds to actually take a nap at your locker.
Yeah, Tyrann Mathieu, former LSU cornerback to Honey Badger, he donated some money, and now he's helped out with their player lounge, which I think is really cool. And I love the Honey Badger in college. I thought he was one of the more electrifying football players I've ever gotten a chance to watch in my lifetime, so I thought that was pretty cool. But it's kind of a bummer, and it's definitely a down that LSU maybe has the best locker room, not only in the SEC, but in college football now.
The pit of hell is kind of a running theme for the broadcast today, Ty. Drew Smiley was in the pit of hell for a good while there. He'd signed with the Texas Rangers, who actually was traded by the Cubs to the Rangers, and was expected to be a big part of the Rangers' rotation. Didn't work out from there, where he compiled an ERA of 8.42 before being designated for assignment. Signed a minor league contract with the Brewers, but by the start of July was able to exercise a clause in the contract to force free agency. Goes on to sign with the Phillies, makes his debut with the Phillies, and throws 6 innings of beautiful baseball against the Pittsburgh Pirates, limiting the Bucks to 4 base hits and 1 run. Smiley walked 2 and struck out 8. But the Phillies ended up blowing the lead and ended up coming back and winning later, so a no decision for Drew Smiley. But it's got to be great. I mean, he had no success with the Rangers and he's going to end up pitching in a pennant race with the Philadelphia Phillies, and it's good to see the former Razorback kind of look back to where he had been before the injury cost him almost 3 full seasons. So it's great to see Smiley back, and that's way, way up. Third down. Did you see this list of all-time quarterbacks put out by Bleacher Report today? I don't know who actually authored this list, but I'm not sure if he's ever watched football before. The top 25 quarterbacks of all time. Now, you could argue about this a lot, okay? Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Joe Montana, Dan Marino, and Johnny Unitas are 1 through 5. I don't have any problem with really these all being in the same order, but Johnny Unitas is misspelled on his list. Johnny is 1H, not 2. Can I also say Joe Namath is not in the top 10 of all-time quarterbacks, nor would Brett Favre be listed 17th best all-time. That is behind Ben Roethlisberger and behind Phillip Rivers and behind Kurt Warner. And, oh, by the way, Warren Moon, Warren is spelled with 2 R's, not 1. And Alex Smith is not the 25th greatest quarterback of all time. And Carson Palmer is not the 21st greatest quarterback of all time. Nor is Drew Bledsoe the 20th greatest quarterback of all time. This has to be a joke list. Bleacher Report, way down.
It is, Phil. That's actually not a Bleacher Report. It's a fake. It's a fake something.
Thank goodness.
I saw that. I actually saw one of the people I met down there in Hoover. She actually works for Bleacher Report, and she debunked it today. So that's, as you're reading this, I'm like, I think I saw this on Twitter today, so I went back and checked. But yeah, it is a fake list. That is not actually from Bleacher Report. And speaking of fake, I actually need to apologize to Shea Patterson on air. Last week, when I called him out for saying that stuff about on that burner account for Jim Harbaugh, that was also a fake picture created probably by an Ohio State fan to draw up some trouble. So I need to personally and publicly apologize to Shea Patterson for calling him out, even though that's what's crazy about it. You have to double and triple check, because what was on there was Patterson's Twitter account, his handle, and everything. It looked so real, and yet it wasn't. So that's a tough one. But yeah, it is a fake list, Phil. So
all right, you close it out here,
and deservedly so. All right, third one for me, Phil. Have you seen the new Arkansas Special Edition Nike tennis shoes yet?
Have not.
They're pretty nice.
I'm not a shoe hound. I don't buy tons of shoes.
See, I'm not either. They're listed at $129.99, and I think, is it Jimmy Longo who does the pictures for Arkansas?
That's
right. He put them out, and he always does a fantastic job with whether it's taking pictures of athletes, coaches, or just Arkansas stuff in general. He put them out. They're really sleek looking, and if they weren't $129.99, I might actually invest. But I'm a guy that does not spend more than $50 on a pair of sneakers.
Well, maybe you're going to end up spending, saving money on no haircut, depending on what the listeners want you to do.
I don't know, man. It's looking like, based on what I'm seeing with this poll, it's looking like I need to get a chop. So based on, we'll see what happens by the end of the night, and then by tomorrow when the show starts. But that's what's looking like so far. Last down for me. Did you see? Or you don't watch golf? I don't really either. I didn't watch the second of the Open this weekend. But J.B. Holmes had a final round of 87. He was at one point second place, 10 under par through 3 pounds. Goes from third, and then was at third place to a tie for 67th. tied for 67. So you're all the way in the top 5, and then you're outside the top 60. He only beat 3 players who made the cut. 4 doubles, a triple bogey, 6 regular bogeys, and 1 birdie. A tough last round for J.B. Holmes at the Open.
That's amazing. So some of our listeners might be saying, you know what, I could hit a final round 87. You know what? No, you can't. Not on the 4th day of the British Open with all the pressure on you, with all the cameras on you, and the fact that you've played 3 days in a row. No, you're not going to hit an 87. That's why the pros are the pros. All right. Hey, it's still lunchtime, so go over to Hardee's. Get yourself a charbroiled double deal for $2.49 each. At Hardee's, you get the double cheeseburger or the new bacon cheddar double, or, backed by popular demand, the Hardee's Classic. Double the beef, triple the options. Hardee's, because it tastes better.
Turn my mic off for a sec. Phil and I will be doing a live show there August 9th, so not next Friday, but I think it's the following Friday after. It might be 3 Fridays, but August 9th, Friday, whenever that is, whether it's 2 or 3 weeks, we will be down there for that. So make sure you come out. I've already got 2 people, friends of the program, that are going to and participate in one of these qualifying challenges. So hopefully we'll get a few more down there, Phil.
I think we're going to have an interesting conversation about Northwestern head coach Pat Fitzgerald's quote about why he thinks college football attendance is down. That's after the break on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
RPO is the purest form of communism.
Missed a segment or interview? Check out the Halftime Pod at hitthatline.com. This is the Morning Rush.
You know that Razorback fans are really hoping that this upcoming season will be different, not only just for the quarterback situation, but for a lot of things. But they're hoping that this coaching staff has their quarterback, has their guy, and they're going to ride with him. And even in the case of the first few weekends and the first few college football games that they'll be playing, they stick with that guy as well.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
My sales team is running amok. Hi, this is David Neal with Road Chevrolet in Van Buren. I take a day off and management decides to have a July blowout sale. Take home the all-new 2019 Blazer and save up to $5,000. Or how about a new 2019 Silverado as low as $28,988? You can also put a little spark in your life with a new 2019 Spark with payments as low as $199 a month. That's with no money down. Take advantage before this amazing sale ends at Road Chevrolet. Exit 2A off of I-540 in Van Buren. Find new roads.
See dealer for details. Summer's about to get hotter with a $50 instant rebate on select Bridgestone and Firestone tires from Jim Grizzle Tire Company. Now through July 31st, take advantage of the great deals on all-season Bridgestone and Firestone tires. With 3 convenient locations, 1610 North 7th in Van Buren and Fort Smith at 3002 Towson Avenue, and the newest location at 8821 Rogers Avenue, Jim Grizzle Tire, where you can get a $50 instant rebate plus an additional $40 if you use your CFNA credit card. Restrictions apply. See store for details, subject to credit approval. Jim Grizzle Tire, people dedicated to serving people since 1963.
Have you always dreamed of a backyard to entertain family and friends, or just to relax and unwind by your own pool? Well, now is the perfect time. Hi, Tommy Kraft from my good friends at Burton Pools and Spas, both in Fort Smith and in Springdale. For a limited time, get up to $5,000 off in-stock fiberglass in-ground pools. So if you're looking for a great quality pool in your own backyard, this is a great way to go. Fiberglass pool with lots of shapes, lots of designs, and save up to $5,000 off right now at Burton Pools and Spas. So if you've always dreamed of having that relaxing oasis in your own backyard, those staycations that really make great memories, Burton Pools and Spas can make all of that happen and save up to $5,000 this month at Burton Pools and Spas. You want quality installation, you want experts, and you want a local company, deal with Burton Pools and Spas in Fort Smith and in Springdale. Up to $5,000 off in-ground pools with Burton Pools and Spas. Your source for backyard fun. Now is the time to book your fundraising and corporate golf outings for 2019 at Eagle Crest Golf Course. Call Eagle Crest now before all the best dates are gone. 479-632-8857. Eagle Crest Golf Course, voted best of the best golf course 2 years in a row. Let their staff take care of everything, from help with your tournament as well as food and beverage service. If you're looking for a place to host your corporate or charity event this year, call Eagle Crest Golf Course. 479-632-8857. The new Harry Robinson Salisal Ford has a bigger selection with over 200 vehicles in stock, personal service from a staff that is ready to work with you, and an all-new service department that's friendly and will fix your car right the first time. This is our promise to you at the new Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal, Oklahoma.
Harry Robinson, Salisal Ford.
It's your piece of land, your point of pride, your place of peace and quiet. Your yard means something to you. So mow like you mean business with a professional-grade Gravely zero-turn mower. Gravely means comfort. Gravely means strength. Gravely means cutting precision. Gravely mowers mean business. Gravely, build to mow the distance.
Visit Bush Machine and Tractor, 7301 0 Street in Fort Smith, or at bushtractor.com.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Sterner, 5-step drop this time, going for the home run, and it's caught! It's Lucas, and he's heading for the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas, 80 yards!
RPO is the purest form of communism.
Yeah, that's Pat Fitzgerald, an outstanding head coach. Been there 14 years at Northwestern. And he's taken, the Vanderbilt of the SEC, the Vanderbilt of the Big 12, and turned them into a routine contender in the Big Ten. I mean, guys won 96 games in 14 years at a school that's really not had a lot of success in football. Sometimes, though, I think coaches get a little bit out past the point that they're trying to make when they do get asked questions, especially during talking season, which we're still in. And the quote that we're about to play from Pat Fitzgerald, he was answering a question about the decline of attendance in college football. And this has sparked a lot of conversations throughout the morning and the afternoon.
I think technology has been the decline in attendance, number one. I think, watching young people today, Stacey and I were out on a date last night, and two groups of couples sitting next to us, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm old. Like, not one of the four couples were talking to each other. They were all on their phones. And it just drove me up I literally wanted to be like a dad and go like, give me your phone, talk to each other. I mean, this is pathetic. So it was really, really pathetic. And I think it's just changed the way a lot of younger people and younger fans intake is all through technology. And I mean, you watch a concert and everybody's holding their phone up. Like, listen, watch, take it in. Create a memory, because they don't go back and watch the videos. They just want to post it on their social media, which is pathetic because it creates a society of, look at me, isn't my life great? Even though when they go home, they're like, I hate myself, I hate my life, everything's wrong. So I think it's a big cause. I think it's the root cause, number one. I think the fans that grew up going and tailgating and the fans that grew up going to the stadiums 4 hours before the games are getting a little older. And I think the next and younger generation of fans are more reliant on technology. They'd rather have 12 TVs set up in their TV watching cave than go to a game and experience the pageantry and the tailgating.
Phil, we'll start with this because you very much disagree with what he just said. And I think it's funny because I feel like you're going to be kind of the guy that's shielding my generation. I'm going to be the one that's attacking it at the door. What do you disagree with what Pat Fitzgerald said?
It's not the root cause.
I agree. I'll agree with you to that point.
Now,
yes.
There's a separation here. I can agree with him about the ills of social media, about everybody having their phones up and watching a game through a phone sometimes for big moments, or a concert through the phone because you think you're going to go back and watch this at some point, or just to post it to social media. I can agree with him about that. But this also came across to me as so much of the crap that you hear from my generation, where we're always pouring it on the ills of the younger generation. Let me tell you something, Coach Fitzgerald. There are plenty of 45-year-old couples that do the exact same thing as the two young couples that you talked about at wherever you went on your date. And nice to go out on a date on a Friday night before the season. Obviously a good husband. But I think you can point to a number of other things. Of reasons why attendance is down at college football games compared to mobile phone addiction. I think that's a little bit of it. I think there are many more things that get into it. And the fact is, too, is that social media has become part of the way that people do enjoy the experience of going to live sporting events. Whether you agree with it or not, whether it's right or wrong, that is the way that some people actually enjoy themselves at these events. So I agree with him on some aspect, but I don't think it's the root cause at all, and I also don't think that was the question he was asked.
And I think it's a combination of things. It's not the root cause, and I'll agree with you there. But Phil, I can attest to this. I mean, I was in college 2 years ago, and it was sometimes a pain. It was sometimes a work to get my friends to go to certain games because it wasn't a big enough caliber game, and they just rather sit at home and drink beer by the fifth. It is a completely different mindset than when you were back in school or even out of school, just young post-grads, like not wanting to go to games and stuff. It was painful for me last year when I didn't get to go to a lot of games. Like I got to work. I'm a big boy now. Got to do what I got to do, and I got to do what Tommy assigns me to do. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you it was more fun to watch it on the TV, and maybe the fact that the team went 2-10 didn't help out anything. But I guess this is just one of those things where I'm attacking my generation. I think I don't think it's the major, most contributing root, as he called it, but I think it's a bigger cause than you're letting on. And I think that the fact that our generation is so content with just sitting at home or just playing video games or stuff like that, I think it's a little more of an impactful than you're kind of saying right now.
No, I think more people are watching college football than ever before, but they're watching it on television at home where you can control your environment, where you don't have to worry about drunk idiots unless you want to be around drunk idiots, where you don't have to spend money or sometimes outrageous amounts of money just to get inside the stadium and make donations, and the parking prices that you have to deal with, and the donations that go on top of the parking prices, and the fact that you're sitting through a 4-hour game with tons of commercial breaks, outdoors. Sometimes it's not the most fun experience. Who's interested in going to watch, look at the Arkansas schedule this year. I mean, Portland State, Colorado State, San Jose State. There are 2 SEC home games at Reynolds Razorback Stadium. These, to me, are bigger reasons, on top of the reason that, yes, there is an addiction to mobile phones, and maybe that has a little bit to do with why people don't go out to games as much. But it can look at where this point is coming from. It's coming from a coach who's been very successful at a place that's difficult to be successful, but they still don't draw at Northwestern. They had their best season ever last year of an average of almost 44,000 fans per game at Northwestern, and that's only because they hosted Notre Dame, because that was the way to get the Notre Dame ticket. Many times there are more fans from other schools than Northwestern fans inside Ryan Field, and it's got to be frustrating for him. You're not going to ever point the finger at universities for the prices, for maybe the salaries that coaches are paid, which there is a correlation to prices and donation requests. All these factors for me are bigger than mobile phones. And sometimes people take questions that weren't directed towards society's ills, turn it into the answer about society's ills, and they get lauded for it. And I just don't think that it was a real answer to the question. Hey, if you're getting into real estate, call Nick and Ellie Glidewell. The market is hot right now. These are the people to talk to when it's time to sell your home, because Nick and Ellie will get you top dollar. They're aggressive with marketing of real estate, professional photos, videos, a fleet of different drones, and a 3D virtual home tour. They've been helping people buy and sell their homes for over 10 years, and they love what they do. They advertise on social media, TV, radio, newspaper, and more. Look on Facebook or Instagram or at nickandellie.com. It's Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South after the break on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
RPO is the purest form of communism.
Missed a segment or interview? Check out the Halftime Pod at hitthatline.com.
Why go anywhere else to buy your next vehicle? Buy from Randall Ford. Randall Ford has the largest selection of F-150s, period. Randall Ford will not be beat on price. Randall Ford will pay you 10% above top book for your trade. Randall Ford will get you approved. Guaranteed. Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers, or online at randallford.com. The 4th oldest Ford dealer in America with approved credit.
You've worked hard your whole life anticipating the day you could finally retire. If that day is near, there are 5 things you need to do. Spend wisely, understand your retirement plan distribution options, plan for your required minimum distributions, know your Social Security options, and consider phasing. Call Brad Lewis at United Financial Advisors to discuss these steps in detail at 242-7466 or through our website at ufadvisors.net.
Securities and advisory services offered through Royal Alliance Associates, member FINRA, SIPC. United Financial Advisors is a marketing destination.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Art's and get $1 off. Try Art's Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Art's burgers come with a mound of fresh cut fries, or upgrade to Art's homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
Does this sound like you?
Or is this more like it?
Or maybe your inner biker sounds like...
No matter what motorcycle motor is music to your ears, Shelter Insurance has a policy that's music to your wallet.
Shelter insures your fun stuff. Motorcycles to riding mowers, ATVs to RVs, bikes to bass boats. If it rides, rolls, or floats, we can cover it. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Ask Shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review.
Did you invest in real estate only to find out that real estate takes up too much of your time? If you answered yes, then it's time to make a call to the experts. With more than 30 years of combined property management experience and more than 16,000 units managed, Trinity Multifamily are the ones to call. Get your life back. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Get ready for mow fun this summer with a new Bad Boy mower and free SeaWorld or Busch Garden tickets. Let's go! Buy a Bad Boy mower this spring and own the best-built, most powerful zero-turn mower on the planet. And you'll get free tickets to SeaWorld or Busch Gardens. Have mow fun all the way around this summer. Drive away with a Bad Boy mower and take off to SeaWorld or Busch Gardens for the time of your life. Make your country Bad Boy country.
See the full line of Bad Boy mowers at Elma Tractor and Equipment.
Bad Boy mowers. Mow with an attitude. Limited time offer. Participating dealers only.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Deep middle, wide open. Jarius Wright trying to get his balance. If he can, he might take it. Breaks the tackle, down the sideline, got a block, and he's in. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Connor O'Gara joining us here on a Monday. Connor is the senior national columnist at Saturday Down South and also Saturday Tradition. We talked to him last week in Hoover, and he's with us right now. Connor, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
We are outstanding today. Did you hear this quote from Pat? I'm sure you did, from Pat Fitzgerald about attendance decline at college football games, and he placed it squarely on the shoulders of mobile phone addiction. I couldn't disagree with anybody more because I see many more reasons, and I do think that you can point to a correlation between salaries of coaches and declines in attendance because coaches are paid from a giant pool of money that includes donations, ticket prices, television money. All these reasons, I think, are partially reasons why fans stay away from games at times. What did you make of what Fitzgerald said? Why do you think college football attendance is down?
So I agree with him in certain aspects of it, and I also disagree with him. I agree with the fact that we have more distractions than ever. I think that that's fair to say that us as a society, we as consumers can be doing a million different things while we're consuming a sporting event. And the fact that we don't necessarily want to go to an in-game stadium, go to a stadium where, I mean, chances are there's not going to be Wi-Fi there, signal's going to be down, and you can't do a million other things. That might be part of it, and there are just more distractions now than ever. But at the same time, like, I also think more than anything, it's just the in-home game experience has just improved significantly over the years. I mean, let's think about the fact that we can now watch college football for 17 hours on a Saturday, which is usually what I end up doing because that's my job. But we didn't have that 15, 20 years ago. I mean, we didn't have this wall-to-wall, you know, all these different camera angles, the comfort of our own home to be able to watch a variety of networks where we can watch college football. And I think that the bubble has sort of burst with fans not wanting to come to a game where, you know, they have to they can't see all the angles like they do from their HD TV at home, you know, where they can have their buddies and they can have beer just a short walk away. Like, all these different things contribute to this. And I don't necessarily think it's solely to blame for cell phones. Is that one of the reasons why fans aren't maybe as attentive and they don't want to just sit there for 3.5, 4 hours on a given Saturday and necessarily devote all their time to it. Yeah, maybe that's part of it, but I tend to think that the TV thing has become, and the in-home game experience is more of a factor than any.
So we followed you throughout the week at SEC Media Days. I read your column about following Joe Moorhead, and it seemed to me that the most important thing for Joe Moorhead, and I did check, I don't think Dan Marino has followed him on Twitter just yet. And I wonder if that'll ever happen. I guess I was surprised at how important that was to him.
It was funny. I mean, because everybody heard about like what he said in the main media room, but there were little moments throughout the day where he'd ask Bill Martin, who's the SID for Mississippi State football, and he would ask him, "Hey, can I see my phone? Can I see if Marino's followed me yet?" And then at the end of the day, that was like the last thing he says. "Man, I can't believe he hasn't followed me yet. I'm kind of pissed," which is a little bit tongue in cheek, but at the same time, like. Joe has a certain confidence and a certain swagger that he brings to the table, and I think he grew up obviously worshiping Dan Marino, and in that area, I think everybody from Pittsburgh did. So I think it means a lot to him. But at the same time, it's more of he's trying to stay with the times. He's trying as much as possible to be relatable and to be somebody that has a national brand. I mean, he's still trying to grow his national brand. People have been surrounded by him. Absolutely love him. I mean, you talk to former people at Penn State, you talk to former people at Fordham. There's a reason that somebody like Tommy Stevens went to Mississippi State to go try and play for Joe Moorhead. Like, all of these things kind of factor into who he is, and that's what I got a better picture of following him around for the entire day. This guy is just as cool as a cucumber, and yeah, he's still in a different situation than what he was used to up in the Northeast, but I think he is extremely well. He has learned how to adapt to his surroundings, and I think that's what he's been able to do even better in year two, with kind of taking some of those expectations back and saying that last year maybe he got a little bit ahead of his skis by saying that players they better learn their ring sizes, and saying Nick Fitzgerald better have a place on his mantle ready for his Heisman, and he walked back those comments and like, hey, I needed to learn that. I learned about the gauntlet that is the SEC. So it was very interesting following him around and just kind of getting all these different perspectives that he had to offer.
Talking with Connor O'Gara Saturday Down South. Connor, you just mentioned your work schedule, how you're watching games 17, 16 hours a day. Is there ever a point where you go to cover a specific game? I know it's kind of hard because you lose a lot of time parking, driving, and doing that. But are there ever games that you go specifically cover? Or are you pretty much just like in Orlando watching games all throughout the Saturdays in the fall?
So last year I covered 4 games in person, and then the other 9 Saturdays, whatever it was. I think I was at home, and I think this year the plan is to be between 4 and 6, because I kind of think that if I was traveling every single week, I wouldn't get as good of a feel for it. I think it's tough, and that's my takeaway whenever I go and I travel for a game. Like last year, it's one thing if it's in my backyard. Like if it's in Orlando, that's easy. I can watch a whole day of football, and then Bama plays Louisville at night, and I can go to that game. It's an easy drive for me, and I can still consume my usual 16, 17 hours of college football. But there are other days I covered at the LSU Florida game, where that's a 2-hour drive to Gainesville for me each way. And yeah, I mean, it was an unbelievable game to be at, and I'm super glad that I was there. But in terms of having a feel for kind of what went on the rest of the day, I found myself really trying to do whatever I can to try and consume. That was the same day as the Mizzou South Carolina game, where they played in a monsoon. And I feel like I didn't get the best picture possible for that because I couldn't just sit down and watch it. So there are days like that. I think it's a balance of both things, but I like being able to do both. I think, you don't get the same perspective if you're just at home every single Saturday, no matter what. You do kind of have to experience it in person every once in a while. But hopefully this year we'll get up to about 6 games that I'll get to cover.
So, Connor, we were discussing in the first segment of the program Arkansas's lack of success of late compared to just their overall finishing last in the SEC West since they joined the SEC. Really falling on hard times, it seems like, these last couple years compared to really their overall amount of time they've been in this conference. When you think about Arkansas, when you think about the 2010, 2011, 06, 98, 95, 02, they've gotten to there was one of those years they didn't get to the SEC championship. The others they did, or they had a lot of success those seasons. Do you think they will be able to get to that point where they're competing to the SEC West? Maybe not winning, but competing it with Nick Saban still in the conference?
I really don't. And I know that's a tough pill to swallow, and no fan wants to hear. The worst thing possible for a fan base to hear is that their team has a ceiling, right? I mean, they feel like their team just is not going to be able to get over the hump. I think with the way that the division is currently set up, with Bama being as good as it is, even having Jimbo Fisher in there too, let's not forget that. And obviously, I think Coach Orgeron is extremely underrated in what he's been able to do at LSU so far. Those are tough waters to navigate, and you just don't get those opportunities for gimmies. And the guy that I just talked about, Joe Moorhead, I'm still a believer in him, and that he's going to be the guy long term at Mississippi State. And if you just kind of look around the conference, you're like, oh my gosh, when are we going to get a break? So I do question kind of, as long as Nick Saban is there and as long as the current dynamic of the SEC is in play, I think it's going to be extremely difficult for Arkansas to all of a sudden just be like this 10-win team that's going to a New Year's Six Bowl. There's just not that room for error. There's not. And it's going to take a long time to really develop that roster depth that you need, because it's not just getting the occasional, I know Chad Morris did a really, really good job recruiting last year, but it takes so much more than just getting a couple classes like that. And I think that with Arkansas still having to deal with now A&M in the conference recruiting at such an elite level with Jimbo Fisher, I mean, that's the thing that's really, I think, going to potentially limit their upside and what they can do in the state of Texas. That's going to be so tough. And as long as Jimbo's there, as long as Nick Saban is still doing what he's doing, yeah, I mean, I do think that Arkansas's upside is limited, even though I do, still tend to believe that Chad Morris is the guy, and he's the type of hire that they needed to make to try and take a risk like that, and it makes more sense than the Bielema hire. But at the same time, it'll be awfully difficult to get to that 9-10 win mark on a yearly basis.
So, Connor, I mean, Joe Moorhead wasn't talking about ring sizes anymore. He acknowledged that was a mistake. Chad Morris wasn't doing, the hammer down, the left lane, all that kind of stuff, in his second media days. And you do get a sense. And he said, he felt he learned something about that line of scrimmage in his first year in the SEC. I wonder if is there a different perspective for first-year coaches that have been in the SEC as an assistant, like a Kirby Smart, like a Jeremy Pruitt, like a Will Muschamp, of course, who's been a head coach at two spots here, compared to a Chad Morris or a Joe Moorhead that are coming from the outside in as assistants elsewhere?
I think there's something to be said for that, right? I mean, until you fully get the real, in-person picture of it, the SEC is probably always just going to sound overrated. I mean, Joe Moorhead thought the SEC was overrated before he got here, and now he spent his day calling it the best conference in college football, and he believes he plays in the best division in college football. I think there is something to be said for that. Until you're actually out there and you see the talent on display and you realize, oh, this is why this conference had twice as many dudes invited to the NFL Combine, it's tough for that to really sink in. It doesn't do it justice to watching on TV. But, I don't think that's necessarily something that you absolutely have to have, right? I think that you can still go in to year one knowing that the SEC is going to be extremely difficult and having those expectations met. Chad Morris and Joe Moorhead might have both admitted, hey, I might not have realized how difficult this was. But at the same time, that's not to say that you have to have SEC experience in order to succeed as a coach in this conference. I tend to think that that's a bit overrated. And, all these people who talk about having Southern ties, this and that. Yeah, I'm sure it helps being a coordinator, and maybe that makes that year one transition a little bit easier, but I don't think that's going to factor into long-term success for either of those guys.
Connor, always love having you on. Looking forward to doing it again next week. Thanks so much for your time.
Yep, appreciate it.
You got us. Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South will be joining us every Monday throughout the college football season. Time before we go, what's going on at Burton Pools and Spas these days?
You got to take advantage because huge savings going on right now, up to $5,000 off fiberglass in-stock, in-ground pools. Don't wait. Come in and talk to them today. This special is going on through the end of July. You're going to want to take advantage to save up money, up to $5,000 again on all fiberglass, in-stock, in-ground pools. You can look them up. The address is 6121 0 Street. And then in Springdale at 725 South 48th Street. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun. You can check them out online at burtonpools.com.
Cherry on the top of a Monday halftime next on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson. Follow them on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP and at Tye Sports Radio.
This is your last chance to save $1,000 off the remaining new 2018 GMC Sierras at Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC in Charleston. Right now, you can save $16,000 off new in-stock 18 Sierra Denali 4-wheel drive half-ton crew cabs and $13,000 off new Sierra SLT half-ton crew cabs. These savings are unprecedented and will not be repeated. Hurry in now to Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC in Charleston and find your next truck at prices you can't believe. Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC in Charleston or online at huggm.com. Closer than you think.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the Chicken Pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
At Brankrow Furniture, we have always been involved in supporting and giving back to our community. During the recent historic flooding, many people and their families have been affected, and we continue to keep you in our prayers here at Brankrow Furniture. We want to help by offering no sales tax, free delivery, and sell at discounted prices. We can also store your purchase until you're ready for delivery and setup. May God bless you and God bless America. Brankrow Furniture, your made in the USA headquarters. Best seats in the house.
Summertime is fun time, and we're all about it at Rath Auto Resources. Hi, folks. Larry Rath here with exciting news about our summer sales drive. We're out to break every sales record this summer, and we're doing it with extra for trades, fast, easy financing for every situation, and huge discounts on our entire Rath road-ready inventory. Like these special purchase 2018 Toyota Corolla LEs for only $14,848 or $0 down and $229 a month while they last. Plus, we'll be giving away a showroom full of summer fun prizes, including a grand prize trip to Big Cedar Lodge. Or let us take care of the car you have with buy 3, get 1 free on all tires, free AC checks, and 10% off all AC work in our Meineke Car Care Center. Don't wait. Give us a call, go online, or visit us today to save some real money on a nicer, newer car and register to win fun prizes during the summer sales drive at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
No purchase necessary. 0 down payment with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Hey dads, do you have an athlete in your house that is looking to take their skills to the next level? XL Speed Training at the Fort Smith Athletic Club has the proven results to maximize your athlete's potential. Designed for both male and female athletes of all ages and various sports to improve mobility, endurance, agility, and vertical jump. Take your game to the next level with XL Speed Training. Call Mike Johnson at 479-926-0193. That's Mike at 479-926-0193 at the Fort Smith Athletic Club.
The Paint Store in Van Buren, ready to help you with summer projects, putting 31 years of experience to work and helping you choose a new color or match one you really need. In addition to a computer, they use their eyes and minds to see color and make adjustments to choose just the right Richards Paint product for your project. They'll keep samples in your name and address for 10 years. No other paint seller does that. See the large selection of the current and popular paint colors from Richard Paints and experience customer service you won't get anywhere else. The Paint Store, 1414 Fayetteville Road, Van Buren.
Budweiser wants you to drink wiser. And here's the thing. 74% of you already choose to stay in control instead of overdoing it when you're out with friends. So order a cheeseburger before a big night. Have a glass of water alongside your beer. The good news is that most of you are already making the right choice. But what would be even better is for everyone to drink wiser. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
We were